Number one is you're working just to survive. The median household in America today is making right around $75,000 a year, which is $6,250 a month. Before you actually get that money though, your taxes are going to be taken out of your paycheck because of the IRS. And if you live in a low tax state like Michigan, or we'll call it a medium tax state, not zero tax like Florida, but it's also not California or New York, somewhere in that middle. Well, now you're going to be paying around $1,650 a month in taxes on your income. But that's not all. Let's say $2,000 a month in housing costs, which include your rent or your mortgage, plus your property taxes, plus your insurance, plus your HOA fee if you have one, plus any maintenance fees you got to pay because, well, everything always breaks eventually. Let's say another $1,000 a month for your car payments. Now, this doesn't mean you're renting out an Escalade. $1,000 a month in car payments could mean either you have two cars in the garage because this is for your household. This could mean that you have a car, you got to pay your gas, you got to pay your insurance, you got to pay your maintenance and everything else. So even if you just have one car, it could very easily run you $1,000 a month for your car. Let's say something around $350 a month for your utilities. And I'm being pretty conservative here. So this is your heat, your water, your electricity, your internet, your Netflix, and all your other subscriptions that you have. Another $275 a month for your health insurance. You and your family have to eat, so let's say $400 a month in all of your grocery expenses, and an additional $400 a month in entertainment. That could be travel, that could be eating at restaurants, that could be your miscellaneous expenses, $400 a month for there. Based on these not very crazy expenses, you will be left with a whopping $175 a month left over for yourself to build wealth. But I'm also assuming that you don't have any student loans. I'm also assuming that you don't have any credit card debt. I'm also assuming that nothing breaks during this time. I'm also assuming that you don't go out and make any nice purchases during this time. And I'm also assuming that nobody has a birthday, nobody has a vacation, nobody has any other expenses planned. Assuming that everything goes perfectly, you have zero unexpected expenses, you have zero other debts, you'll be left with $175 a month. Now to save money, invest in your 401k, and potentially invest outside of that to build wealth. You can start to see now why the average person has very little to no savings or investments at all. It's because they're playing this game, you're working hard to make money just to survive rather than to thrive. But this is where we got to take a step back and understand, if you want to build wealth, you can't spend all of your money. You have to have money to invest. You break out of the middle class by owning investments, period. If you want to own investments, you need money in order to do that. How can you have more money? You can do one of two things. You can either spend less money or you can work to earn more money. There's really no other golden ticket there. You can either cut back on some of these expenses or you can work to earn more money, or you can do both. And this is where you got to understand there is a sacrifice involved. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. And it's only going to get more difficult. And so if you want to start breaking out of the system, you got to stop working just to survive and you got to start working to thrive. And that starts with you cutting back on some of these expenses. And that starts with you then working to earn some more money. I'll call it a decade of sacrifice. That way you have more money here, that way you have more money to buy assets, because these assets that you start buying, your stocks, your real estate, your other businesses, your own business, that's what's going to break you out of the middle class, because you're working to invest your money. It's not just constantly working to make money so you can have more expenses. The second habit that keeps so many people stuck is staying comfortable. If you ask the average middle class person who's unhappy with where they are financially, why don't you make a change in your life? Why don't you get a new career? Why don't you start a business? Why don't you do something different? They'll give you the same answer. I'll call it HSB. It's because you're comfortable. HSB is because I got health insurance where I am, I got a nice salary where I am, or I have some nice benefits where I am. And you get very comfortable because you kind of get addicted to that salary. You get addicted to those benefits. You get addicted to the health insurance because your wife needs it, your husband needs it, your kids need it. And you get addicted to that little taste of that comfort. And you don't want to let go. But that's the same comfort that's holding so many people back from ever taking a risk, because you get so addicted to the idea of having this comfort and you don't want to let go of it. When you have that comfort, you don't want to lose it. But in order to have something a whole lot bigger, you got to take a risk. And in order for you to take a risk, sometimes you got to let go of some of that comfort. Same thing when you invest your money. When you invest your money, you can lose. That's a risk. And it's uncomfortable knowing that you can lose. But the reality is you're going to lose when you invest your money. And until you understand that you will lose, you're never going to be able to see the bigger returns. The goal is to make way more than you lose. And every single successful investor and entrepreneur has lost many, many times. In fact, they've lost more times than you've even started. But that requires you to get a little uncomfortable. Habit number 3, you're glorifying your credit score. I just made a video talking about this, but your credit score doesn't show how much money you make, it doesn't show how rich you are, and it doesn't show how much wealth you're going to build. All it shows you is how likely you are to pay back your debt, and it's still not even that good at that. And you have a lot of people, unfortunately, in the middle class and lower income group that are glorifying this credit score as a way to build wealth, because if you can get a good credit score, you can qualify for more credit. But credit is not wealth. It's debt. It's money you have to pay back to the banker plus interest. And the reason so many people are glorifying this credit score is because you can use this money to buy a BMW. You can use this money to go on a nice family vacation. You can use this money to buy some expensive clothes. But then you got to pay the money back plus interest. Your credit score is just a way to qualify for more debt. Why are you using that debt? If you're using that debt to buy something that's not putting any money in your pocket, you are making somebody else richer at your expense and your family's expense, because now you're going to pay that money back with next year's income and the years after that income, which is why you got to stop playing the credit score game and understand if you really want to build wealth, your wealth is built through your investments. It's not built through your debt. Now, I get it. There are some people that have used debt strategically to buy rental properties, to buy businesses. When you hear people, though, talking about how your credit score is going to make you wealthy or your credit score is going to break you out of the middle class, it's a lie. It's a scam. I mean, you're talking about using your credit score to qualify for more debt, to buy more things that make you look like you're rich, but you're really just making other investors rich who are investing in the companies that you're going into debt to spend money at. And you got to understand, do you want to make yourself rich or do you want to make everybody else rich? All I'm saying is make yourself rich first before you go out and make everybody else rich. Now, you should also understand that if you want to be a successful investor, one of the things that can help you is paying attention to what's happening in the financial markets. That's why I created Market Briefs. It's a free newsletter to keep you up to date on what's happening in things like the economy, the housing market, the stock market, crypto, and the global economy. It's a fun, reading, and easy to read newsletter. You can read it in less than 5 minutes every morning, and it's completely free. So if you haven't joined Market Briefs yet, I got the link to how you can join down in the description below. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.